Good day. Today is day 2 of the paracycling camp, and today is also my 50th birthday. See about the grey hairs. So happy birthday to me. Anyway, what have we done today? Well, this morning we went to a different park with slightly wider roads, and we were working on more intricate handling skills. So after a warm-up, round a few laps, we were given a slalom course to go through. So we had to go through 4 slalom cones, around a corner, do a complete U-turn in the road, come back and then do a emergency stop but not actually put your foot down, and then finish with as slow as you could without putting your foot down. That was the course. Now I have to admit, I looked at it and thought, no way can I do that. The first cone was quite close to the edge of the path, and I have got such a slip paranoia going on without having 2 feet that that's always my first worry. But every time I do something new with a prosthetic leg, it's terrifying. I face this terrifying fear many times already, and face it multiple times a day, many times a week, and probably will for quite some years. So I looked at it and thought, well, there's only one way to work out if you can do this, Mel, and that is just to bloody get on with it. So I managed slaloming round the cones reasonably well, bearing in mind I am doing my right-hand corners wrong with my feet, and I'm having to really think about that. So I got got round all the cones. I'm not sure my feet were always in the right places, but I got round the cones without touching down. Got to the U-turn, and I had such a big mental block about the U-turn. It's in a road that is in a park. You can drive around this park and some of the sealed roads, but it's not a full width road. It's wider than a path, but not a full width double carriageway road. And they've got a cone in the middle of it, and I've got to get round the cone and go back. Now, this never used to be a problem for me before, but the turn is a right-hand turn, which is the one I keep doing wrong. I have to lift my right foot up and put my weight down through my left leg, which is the bit that I'm like, So I tried this a few times and I couldn't get this U-turn right. I kept overshooting it onto the grass. Anyway, they split the groups up, decided that me and one other rider needed a bit more handling practice, and kept us on this course doing it a few more times. At one point during this, another rider had an incident, and Dale, the lady who was standing at the U-turn, had to leave. Now, she'd been shouting at me the whole time, as you'll hear in the video just in a minute. But she went, so there's nobody down there at the U-turn. So I go down to the U-turn. This is the last time I did it, and there's nobody down there now, just the cone. And just after the cone, on the left-hand side of the road, a car has stopped and parked. And the person has got out and they're walking a dog. I looked and thought, oh my God, am I going to be able to get around? And all this is going through my brain at 1,000,000 miles an hour as I'm approaching this cone from the short corner. So I'm approaching the cone. Oh my God, there's a car there. Am I going to be able to get around that? Is that wide enough? Is the car going to be in my way? At this same time, there is a recreational cyclist that looks like they're cycling to work in a factory or something, coming the other way, not really paying much attention, swerving around a bit. And that's all happening at the same time. I'm thinking, oh shit. And I was going to carry straight on and not attempt the U-turn. I hadn't yet come level with the car, and the cyclist had got past the cone. So I thought, oh, bugger it, I'll try it. And I turned to do the U-turn, actually got around the U-turn without overshooting the seal, and didn't use the grass. And I go, oh my God, there's nobody here to actually see it. So that's what the first session was today. And it was really valuable for me because I have got to get my bike handling confidence back. And the only way to do it is with those sorts of events, in events where there's no traffic for me to have to stress about. Bear in mind, the only riding I've been doing outside is round my block, which is always a left-hand turn. So I found that really, really valuable, and I learned a lot from that.
Just trust in that diagonal. Yeah. Inside hand, outside leg. It's all right, I understand, we've all been there.
From there, we went back to get some lunch. And then we had a watt bike testing session. Make sure it's on. So yes, I've done this before. The last time I did this was many years ago with 2 feet. I know how hard it is. If you do a watt bike test properly, you feel like vomiting at the end. That's how hard it should be. So I knew what I was letting myself in for, and I wasn't dreading it, but I was just interested to see how the leg would perform, and I was not sure how much it was going to hurt me physically by doing this. But there's only one way to find out, isn't there? So the test was supposed to go like this. 6 seconds, absolutely flat out, all you've got. Then a rest for 3 minutes. 6 seconds, absolutely flat out, all you've got standing up. 3 minutes, active rest. 30 seconds, flat tack. Standing, then sitting. 3 minute rest, then a 4 minute. All you can for 4 minutes. So that's a longer effort, so that's sort of like threshold. And that's how it progresses. Now you can only do one of these tests once in a day, and the hardest one is meant to be the 6 second one is supposed to be the hardest, and then they get through. So by the time you've done it cumulatively, by the time you get to the 4 minute one, you're stuffed. Now I didn't know if I'd be able to stand up. I haven't even tried, and they were like, "Oh well, you know, you can do it sitting down." I'm like, well, there's only one way I can find out there's things, and this is by trying it. And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you." Well, yeah, you know, you could try it. I said, "Well, you know, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work." And they said, "Well, you know, the worst that could happen is you could be catapulted off the bike and across the gym, we're picking you up again." Like, oh, yeah, but that's not going to, you know, well, we'll try it. So I did the 6 second one sitting down. That was the all-time hardest one on my left leg. 6 seconds. 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all. That's all of the time. Flat tack. I've been sitting on the bike for 10 whole minutes warming up beforehand because I know what this leg is like. Those 6 seconds caused me so much pain in this left leg. It just could not cope with the sudden intense demand. I had such severe claudication cramping in my left calf. I struggled to carry on pedaling, and it was just excruciating. It's the worst I've ever felt it. A full-blown 10 out of 10. Anyway, 3 minutes. I know it subsides, and it had subsided by 3 minutes. I had to actually stop for a moment, and they were like, "Keep pedaling." Be like, "Yeah, I will, give me a moment." So then I tried the 6 seconds standing up. Well, within the first half a second of trying to stand up, nope. That ain't happening, sunshine. And I had to sit down and carry on. So my wattage in that one was a little bit less than the first 6 seconds. Then there was the 30 seconds. By this point, I'm feeling a little bit... And by the end of the 30 seconds, I was feeling a bit sort of... I'm not sure how I'm going to get through this 4 minutes. Really feeling quite... because of the intense effort I've put out. I got through the 4 minutes. And the 4 minutes was roughly, I think, about where my threshold power is sitting on Zwift. But guess what happened? We got the data off the 6 seconds. We got the data off the 6 seconds standing, which I didn't. Got the data off the 30 seconds, but the data off the 4 minutes. The bike went pink and went completely to 0 at the end of the 4 minutes. There was no data. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. So I had no data for the fourth one. They tried everything. They were fiddling with this bike for a long time to try and get this data back off it. And I'm not sure that they managed it in the end. Now, I had somebody watching the test the whole time, so we've got a rough estimate of what the threshold power was during that interval, but not a precise one. And there was no way I was doing it again. No way, Jose. In fact, my leg was so sore at the end of that I had to get somebody to bring my walking leg to me. I couldn't get to the chair to sit down and put it back on again. It was the hardest thing that I've done with this prosthetic leg for a long, long time.
Go now. Go.
And I've been walking around on crutches the rest of the day since to compensate for it. Yeah. But, you know, you need to be in it to win it. You need to get the data in order to progress. And I did. So, we'll see how that goes. Then we had a bit of time to spare, so we went to watch bocce. I've never watched bocce before. Didn't even know what it was. I was sitting on Google, Googling it. They were asking, like, everybody's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So I Googled it. Here's what it looks like. Going on? Well, according to Google, bocce is the oldest game played by humans ever. It dates way back to the Egyptian period and beyond. And it was originally invented for people that had cerebral palsy. You have to sit down to throw the ball. It's a little bit like bowls where there's a jack. You've got to get as close to it as you can, but you sit down and they've got soft balls that are full of sand. And yeah, and then it was the opposite of what I expected, because things were happening when I wasn't expecting. They were like, why did that happen? I don't know, just look at Google. Google tells me that when the first person throws the jack and their ball, then they swap over, so they both throw a ball each first, and the person that is closest to the jack doesn't go next. So next, whoever's further away throws all of their balls, then the other one throws all their balls. It was very strange. Anyway, it's quite interesting because it was interesting to watch. They were getting very serious about it, and they were measuring. He got his little measuring tool out, and you just seen one of those videos, and they were hooting and hollering, and it didn't matter what level of disability you were. Almost anybody can do it. You can throw it. If you can't throw it or don't have arms, you can kick it. And if you can't do that, then you can roll it down a chute. So, yeah, quite interesting, really. And then this evening, we were in one of the kids, his birthday's today as well. So they were having a birthday party and invited us round. So the staff, one of the track riders, elite track riders that had come down, and me all went round, took some birthday cake and things like that, and it was really interesting. It was a really lovely evening, and his family are actually English, so turns out his grandmother's from Stockport, which is not far away from where I come from originally. So it was, yeah, it was a really cool evening, really nice to chat to families of disabled people and how all that works. And it's actually really nice just to sit back and watch what is happening. There were sisters and brothers and girlfriends and the kids there as well, and it was just like everything was perfectly normal. Nobody was different. Nobody made a drama. There isn't any issue. We don't have the whole staring, oh, what's wrong with your leg? None of that. It's actually really nice to be in an environment where nobody actually gives a stuff about your disability and doesn't even mention it, like it's perfectly normal. I really wish there was a bit more of that in my life, because that has been the thing that's been the most refreshing of this weekend so far. So we've got one more morning of skill session, and then I head back, and I hope to God my plane flight back is not as dramatic as the one that got me here. So, have a lovely evening. I will talk to you soon.